Good morning. Today we going to be discuss about the concept on subject SAPM, that is Security Analysis Portfolio Management, unit number 5. Under that, portfolio evaluations. Today we discuss about theoretical parts of unit number 5 on the portfolio evaluations. So let's start to the today's class, where these chapters, that is basically unit number 5, it is a part of that is portfolio evaluations. So as you know that portfolio investment management can be determined with the help of that is 5 process, that is investment policy, then analysis, then has to go for valuations, then portfolio construction, and lastly portfolio evaluation. So portfolio evaluation is the last stage in the investment management, where portfolio manager evaluates his portfolio performance and identify the sources of strength and weakness. So basically the manager has been consider the performance and identifies the weakness and strength. The evaluation of portfolio provides a feedback about the performance to better management strategy. Means how that portfolio management has to be give that feedback, so that will be helpful to be know the investor to invest in a particular stock, or maybe in a other element, either in a security analysis or maybe the portfolio combination. So evaluation of portfolio performance is considered to be the last stage of investment decision. So that's why this is the last stage of process of investment. Then that there are two major factors which influence portfolio management, that is portfolio performance or return achieved, and the level of risk that is portfolio is expected. And basically the return and risk, that is where always any investor want maximum return and minimum risk. So always there are two factors will play how the evaluation can be decided, and portfolio managers have to access the extent to which objectives aimed are being achieved, say in terms of income, capital appreciation, risk and return. But basically the main objective is to the maximum return and minimum risk. Apart from that, we want also the income, capital appreciation, risk and return. Evaluation has to be taken into account whether the portfolio secured have average return, average or below average as compared to the market return. Means how that maximum return we generate or not. Based upon that, we has to be perform portfolio evaluations. As we know about that, portfolio evaluation can be done earlier traditionally based upon that is return only, particularly in the comparison of other receipts of the same class. But later researchers have tried that composite index to measure risk based return into account of different compound risks, that is systematic and non-systemic, and credit of evaluating of these criteria based upon the techniques available, Sharpe, Steiner and Jensen's. Earlier, how we done with the portfolio evaluations, we has to go for only consider the return only, not considering the risks, and we are comparing return how the other assets has been generating. But modern portfolio evaluations can be based upon that is the risk elements. So how the risk elements is there, how the risk concept, risk factors will behave. Based upon that, we have to make the decisions, and that basically with the help of that is systematic and unsystematic, and some of the measurement is available based upon Sharpe, Steiner and Jensen. So let's discuss about what are the measures of portfolio evaluation. So presently we has to be considered as a syllabus point of views or as a portfolio management point of views, where there are three types of measures are there for portfolio evaluation, that is Sharpe measures, Trainer's measures and Jensen's measures. So we'll go for that first one, Sharpe measures. Sharpe measures talks about the measures the risk premium of the portfolio relative to the total amount of risk in the portfolio. Means here they want to be evaluate the performance based upon the risk of portfolio. They not consider regarding the market risk. So risk premium is the difference between portfolio average rate of return and the riskless rate of return. Means nothing but the return generated based upon the individual securities, and risk generated based upon that is the 0% risk, that is government generated securities. And here the risk can be measured with the help of statistical tool standard deviation. We get a measure of portfolio total risk and variability of returns in relation to the risk premium. As usual, we have to consider standard deviations, and the method is adapted to the rank of portfolio on the basis of evaluation of measures. Means you should assign some of the ranks based upon that which one is highest for return of Sharpe measures, that will assign them rank 1, rank 2, rank 3, and based upon that we'll consider that Sharpe measures will be work out. How this Sharpe measure will be used? So it will be used with the help of the formula, that is Sharpe perform measure is equal to RP minus RF divided by standard deviation of P is nothing but Sharpe index denoted as RP is done by average return of portfolio, RF it is risk-free rate of return, and standard deviation of P is total risk of the portfolio. That is, we know about the Sharpe measure the return, that is it measure the risk between, that is portfolio generated return minus risk-free assets, and whole things divided by the risk will be measured with the help of standard deviations. Here we cannot consider the market risk, so that is where denoted as a Sharpe. Then as number second measure, that is trainers. Now the trainers talk about the relationship between given market return and the funds is given by the characteristics line. So here trainer basically measure the risk related to market, so that's why they are compare about that what is the market return generated and what is the fund generated. The fund performance is measured in relation to the market performance only. Obviously the fund performance or the stock performance depend upon the market performance. So here trainers specifically talks about that fund performance measured in the relation to market, and to measure market performance the trainers will be used to the tools, not standard deviation, they will be used the beta value. So beta value will be the knowing about to measure the systematic risk. The ideal fund return rises at a faster rate than general market performance when the market is moving upward, because the fund performance based upon the market. So how market will behave, based upon that the fund performance will be considered, and it's a rate of return decline slowly, then the market return is decline. So trainers specifically used to measure the risk, that is the tool we can use the beta, and with the help of that it is the risk measure of standard deviation replaced by the market risk measured by the beta, because Sharpe will be measure the risk based upon standard deviation. So here because they are not considered the market risk, so they are considered only the portfolio risk, so with the standard deviation. But trainers measure the market risk and the standard deviation is replaced by market risk, therefore it is measured by the beta, and therefore the equation, that is the formula to calculate trainers performance, that is portfolio return, that is RP minus RF risk-free asset divided by beta factors. So that is the only change in that your Sharpe and trainers. Sharpe measure the risk with the help of standard deviation, trainers measure the risk, that is market risk, that is with the help of beta techniques. Then what is the main difference or how these techniques will be used, that is Sharpe versus trainers. Sharpe take place total risk of portfolio into account, while trainers consider only systematic risk. So this is what are the common things, that because Sharpe only consider regarding the total risk of portfolio, so it will consider the total risk into account, but trainers consider only systematic risk because relevant to the performance. Total risk consists both systematic and unsystematic risk. So as we knowing about that is Sharpe will measure both systematic and unsystematic risk, where trainers will measure only systematic risk. The ranking of portfolio on the basis of both the measures, therefore it should be identical here. So Sharpe whichever is the highest we should give the rank, trainers also we should give the same rank, but it is possible that these two measures in actual practice gives varying result due to the difference in the investment and diversification techniques. Obviously will the Sharpe and trainers rank system will be same, but the performance of result will be different, because Sharpe measure the risk based upon the standard portfolio that is standard deviation, trainers will based upon the market risk, so there will measure the beta. So both the techniques has having the ranking methods, but the result should be different because they have different kind of investment and diversification in techniques. That is we talk about the Sharpe and trainers. Then number third, that is Jensen's measures. Jensen's measures, that is number third measures in the your portfolio evaluations. Here the absolute risk return measure was developed by Michael Jensen. That is, this technique has been developed by Michael Jensen, and it is mentioned as measure of absolute performance because definite standard is set and adjust that performance in a measure. So the standard deviation is based upon manager predictive ability, and this equation is based upon CAPM and measure the portfolio manager predictive ability to achieve higher return than expected for the given riskness. So here they will measure regarding the actual return and expected return as per the your CAPM model, that is capital asset pricing model. Basically absolute risk adjusted return measure was developed. So how much absolute risk, and the standard deviation is based upon manager predictability. So basically Jensen's techniques we also call the that is the predictive ability technique also, so that will be considered and basically Jensen will be used the technique that is portfolio return basic model, that is alpha plus beta into market return minus risk-free rate of return. This is the basic model will be used by Jensen. But apart from that, when alpha represent the forecasting abilities, so whenever we has to find out the forecasting abilities techniques, so that time they will be use the equation that is Rp minus Rf is equal to alpha plus beta into Rm minus Rf, or that will be some of the things when we has to find out portfolio return regarding forecasting abilities, come to that Rf this side, so alpha plus Rf plus beta in bracket Rm minus Rf. So when we has to forecasting ability techniques, when the questions comes you can use these equations, but when the questions comes on the Jensen's model you should go for this, or if they ask the question that is you should base it upon actual return and expected return, you can use the equation that is your CAPM model. Whenever the questions comes then the Jensen's performance, actual return and expected, you can use the CAPM. If it is not mentioned then we can go for basic model, then we has to go for forecasting purpose these equations, and if the nothing is mentioned then you can go for that is CAPM equations for the purpose of to measure about that is your portfolio evaluations techniques. Then next concept that is portfolio management strategies. Basically portfolio management strategy is known for the purpose of, it is an approach that we can apply it for efficient portfolio management in order to generate highest possible return at lower possible risk. That is, we make a proper plan how we can set our efficient portfolio management to generate highest return and lowest risk. So that is nothing but portfolio management strategies, because to know that portfolio evaluation concepts, with the help of that we can manage properly our strategies to get return more and less risk, and that can be possible with the help of that is active strategy and passive strategy. So how these two type of strategy will be workouts, let's discuss about that. Active strategies, we discuss about it relies on the fact that particular style of analysis can be generate return that can be beat the market. It involves higher than average cost and stress the taking advantage of market inefficiencies, and it is implemented by the advice of analysts and managers who analyze and evaluate market for the presence of insufficiency. So basically here it relies on the fact, so what is there in the market, based upon that they will prepare the strategy and that can generate return on the markets. And it involves obviously when we generate the fact basis information, generate the cost, and it traces taking advantage of market inefficiencies. So sometimes the inefficiency factors will impact on your market, so that times this kind of strategy will not be work. But basically active strategy is based upon the fact what is will be available, so based upon that they will prepare the strategy. Whereas passive portfolio strategy, it relies on the fact that markets are efficient and it is not possible to beat the markets. Active strategy talks about that is market is efficient where possible to beat market returns, because individual can generate more return than market. But passive talks about that is individual cannot generate the market and regularly over the time of best returns, flow of low cost invest in the keep in the long term. So basically passive talks about for the long term purpose. Active basically we can work out for short terms. No doubt both the techniques we can use for short terms and long term, but as a investor portfolio manager we can go for long term passive and active for a short term, because passive will not be think about that is your will not be think about that market can beat that return other activities and that it will lead to the cost. So that will be considered regarding that. Active can be basically used for short term investment purpose, passive strategy we can use for the long term purpose. And ultimately portfolio revision. So any portfolio require constant monitoring and revision about how that return and risk will be arises, and keeping in the mind of targeted beta, duration and returns, and basically the factors related to changes in investor financial status, basically how the financial status of investor, it is growing or maybe stable or maybe declines, its preference, and then market conditions will also require the changes in portfolio combination. So revision, portfolio revision is nothing but we has to be analyzed that how this investor positions, status, preference, conditions, changes in the portfolio composition, and that leads basically to be selecting portfolio of securities or making portfolio combinations or giving that stock returns or market performance related to the investor point of view has how the portfolio manager will be managed. So here we completed the theoretical parts of your portfolio evaluation and portfolio evaluation on the unit number Fine. Then next class we'll start with the problem parts. Like and subscribe for these channels for upcoming videos. Thank you.